You're watching South Asia Newsline and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Tuesday, the 30th of September. India's PM Modi welcomes Trump's proposal for peace in Gaza. Protests in POJK met with crackdown as Pakistan denies fundamental rights. And water crisis in Kabul forces families into long queues. And now for all the details. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday welcomed US President Donald Trump's plan to end the war in Gaza. In a post on X, PM Modi called the proposal a viable pathway to lasting peace in West Asia. Trump unveiled the 21-point proposal at the White House on Monday alongside Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and urged Palestinians to take responsibility for their destiny. The plan provides for a transitional administration in Gaza with the United States in a supervisory role. Meanwhile, Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif was one of the first leaders to welcome the plan, posting about it on his X, and Trump repeatedly praised Pakistan's role in supporting the deal. The deal pledges reconstruction and humanitarian aid, guarantees no displacement of Gazans, freeing Palestinian and Israeli hostages, and Hamas would be required to disarm while Israel would maintain a security perimeter around Gaza. Leaders and politicians from Canada, Netherlands, Spain, Pakistan, Turkey, India, Australia and the European Council have so far supported Trump's Gaza plan.
And it means the immediate end to the war itself, not just Gaza. It's the war itself. Under the plan, Arab and Muslim countries have committed, and in writing in many cases, but I actually would take their word for it. The people I mentioned, I'd take their word for it, to demilitarize Gaza, and that's quickly. Decommission the military capabilities of Hamas and all other terror organizations, do that immediately. And we're relying on the countries that I named and others to deal with Hamas. And I'm hearing that Hamas wants to get this done too, and that's a good thing.
And speaking at a scientific session at the Manekshaw Center in New Delhi, India's Chief of Defence Staff, General Anil Chauhan, reiterated PM Modi's stance post-Operation Sindoor on nuclear blackmail. The general stressed on preparedness against radiological contamination and biothreats. Defense against such threats and treatment of infected persons require different treatment protocols. We must be prepared for this in future, he added. General Chauhan also praised the contribution of the military nursing service, which completed 100 years of service this year, and highlighted its historical role in India's defense.
Post-Operation Sindoor, our Honorable Prime Minister has said that India will not be deterred by nuclear blackmail. While the possibility of use of nuclear weapons in our context is very, very low, but it would be prudent to take this into a security calculus. Radiological contamination requires different protocols for treatment and must be part of our training. Preparedness against nuclear threats contributes toward deterrence against its use, and I think that's important.
And unrest is growing in POJK, where protests over basic rights have been met with a violent crackdown and a digital blackout. Demonstrators say Islamabad continues to deny their freedom, fair representation and control over their own resources. We have a report.
A major protest movement swept Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir on Monday, triggering a violent crackdown and a communications blackout, with activists describing it as a digital blackout aimed at stifling dissent. The demonstrations were led by the Jammu-Kashmir Joint Awami Action Committee. The protesters enforced a shutdown and wheel jam strike, demanding subsidized flour, fair electricity tariffs tied to the Mangla hydropower project, and an end to reservation on 12 legislative seats that locals say undermine representative governance. Reports suggest violence broke out at Neelam Bridge when Joint Awami Action Committee supporters clashed with pro-government groups and police, leaving at least 2 people dead and several injured. Despite a 38-point charter of demands, talks between the protesters and government authorities have ended in deadlock.
अमन मार्च के नाम पे एक्शन कमेटी के पंडाल में लाया गया और वहां पे डायरेक्ट इंतजामिया और पुलिस को साथ रख के स्टेट फायरिंग की गई, जिसकी वजह से हमारा एक नौजवान शहीद हो गया और 20 में जो है उनको गोलियां डायरेक्ट लगी हैं, वो जख्मी हो चुके हैं। हम किसी भी सूरत अपने शहीद का कत्ल माफ नहीं करेंगे।
Activists stress that residents of PJK and Gilgit-Baltistan continue to be denied freedom of expression, resource ownership, and self-governance. Rights groups note that repeated crackdowns, often violent, reflect Pakistan's continued subjugation of the region's people under the guise of administrative control.
And violent clashes erupted between Aboriginal tribesmen and the settler Bengali community in Khagrachari, Bangladesh, following allegations of a tribal miners' gang rape on Sunday. Protesters blocked roads in southeastern Bangladesh hills, demanding justice while security forces attempted to clear the blockade. Student groups alleged that the tribal girl was assaulted by Bengali settlers. At least 3 people were killed and dozens were injured despite intensified security. The girl was treated at a local hospital while authorities arrested a Bengali teenager suspected to be one of the rapists and is now being interrogated on a 6-day remand. A senior police official said that 3 shots were fired without revealing who fired the shots. Several marksmen later allegedly attacked a local market, setting shops and several houses ablaze. Authorities have imposed Section 144 to limit gatherings and prevent further escalation. The situation has left tourists stranded in the Hill district. Moving on, children in Kabul are spending their days hauling water through dusty alleys instead of going to school, an ordeal for one family that reflects Afghanistan's deepening water crisis. We have a report.
Families in Kabul face grueling challenges to access water. Shopkeeper Asadullah has struggled daily to get water for his family of 13 since their well dried up 4 years ago. The family struggle is part of a larger crisis in Afghanistan. Ongoing drought is stressing water supplies, threatening food and livelihoods.
The nearest water source is at least half an hour away. We wait in line with our barrels. And sometimes we get water, sometimes we don't. It's unpredictable. Fetching water can take 2 to 3 hours, and then we have to carry the barrels back home.
The Afghanistan Analysts Network, in a report this month, warned that Kabul's groundwater could run out by 2030, with other Afghan cities also running dry. Asadullah added that they fetch water 3 to 4 times a day, exhausting him and causing his kids to miss school. His wife, Spere, tries to use what little they have to the last drop.
With 1 barrel of water, I bathe my 3 children. Also, if there are 10 to 15 sets of clothes, I only use 2 barrels of water to wash them. We wash ourselves very little, so that not much water is used, and with 1 jug of water, 2 people can perform ablution.
The lack of clean water has health impacts, leaving Asadullah with an ulcer and Spere with a bacterial infection. Najibullah Sadid is an expert specializing in water resources, the environment and climate change.
If you consider the Kabul River, in the past it would be dry for only about 15% of the year, but now it dries up for 6 to 8 months annually. You can see that the reduction in water flow in this basin is very high, and it is clear that Kabul is among those areas considered to be the most water-stressed regions of Afghanistan.
Sadid added that each area of Kabul needs its own source, alongside better household efficiency and stricter oversight of large water users and transmission. The United Nations reports about 23 million people in Afghanistan, roughly half its population, now require humanitarian aid due to conflict, economic crisis and prolonged drought.
And devotees across India celebrated Ashtami on Tuesday, the 8th day of the 9-day Navratri festival dedicated to Goddess Durga. According to Hindu belief, Goddess Durga embodies feminine power to protect and destroy evil. The 9-day-long festival is dedicated to the 9 forms of Durga, the goddess of power. On this day, young girls are regarded as devis or goddesses and are invited to homes and served a special offering of black gram and sweets. Devotees offered fruits, coconuts and flowers while many observed fasting. During Navratri, Hindus only eat vegetarian food and some even fast for all the 9 days. It is believed that during this period, the devotees must keep their mind, body and thoughts pure. The festival is observed twice a year, once in the beginning of the summer and the other in the beginning of the winter.
आज का दिन बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण दिन है। माता का दरबार लगता है, माता का बहुत श्रद्धा पूर्वक भक्ति भाव से लोग मंदिर आते हैं और दर्शन करते हैं। यहाँ पे बहुत कई जगह से लोग दूर से लोग यहाँ पे दर्शन करने आते हैं।
Meanwhile, in Nepal, 2.5-year-old Aryatara Shakya was anointed as the new Kumari, the living goddess, as part of the centuries-old ritual held on Tuesday. Selected from the Shakya caste after rigorous test of purity, perfection and fearlessness, she replaces Trishna Shakya, who retired upon reaching puberty. The Kumari, regarded as the earthly embodiment of goddess Taleju, will now reside in the Kumari Ghar Palace, appearing only on special occasions. This tradition dates back to the 17th century and is believed to bring fortune to those who receive her blessings.
कसरी चाहिँ खोज नीति गरिन्छ भन्ने कुराहरु 12 वटा मापदण्ड राखेका छौं हामीले। यो 12 वटा मापदण्डलाई चाहिँ समावेश गरी हामीले चाहिँ शाक्य कुल पुत्री जसलाई हामी कुमारी छनौटको लागि 16 बालहरुमा पत्रहरु पठाएर छनौट गर्ने कार्यको लागि नामहरु संकलन गर्ने कार्य भयो। त्यो नाम संकलन गरिसकेपछि त्यसमा जाँच बुझ हैन त्यसको छनौट कार्यमा फुर्ती के हो मापदण्डमा के छ त्यो सबै चाहिँ पूरा गरेर हामीले चाहिँ एक जनालाई छनौट गर्ने कार्य गर्नुपर्ने थियो।
That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.